Hello everyone, welcome to ACCA Advanced Taxation video lectures brought to you by Accountant Institute. My name is Faisal. As I have introduced myself in the previous video, we talked about the exam style as well. We talked about the website. Normally when it is a live lecture in the class, I ask my students to introduce themselves to me as well. So I get to know each of the students and their current status in the ACCA, how many exams they have passed, and whether it is a retake or not, which is very important question from my point of view, so that I will have an idea about all the class, that how many students are resitting, how many students are appearing for the exam for the first time. Now, because of this medium, it is not possible for me to know that because it is not interactive session, it is recorded session, so I don't know that how many students are resitting this exam and how many students are sitting for the first time. So that's why it becomes a little difficult for the tutors, because they will have to one, that they will have to start teaching from the scratch, and other point is that I will have to explain the things in certain details up to a certain level, not in much depth, so that the genius students don't get bored, because some students get the point so easily, others do not. So try to cooperate with me, that sometimes I will be explaining the things in a little bit more detail for the students who do not get the point so easily. All right, so I hope that you will do so. Anyway, as you know, it is advanced taxation, so without wasting our further time, let's move to the topic. After selecting the pen in the black color, so it is our advanced taxation. Advanced taxation, as I said in the previous lecture as well, it is only a UK version and it is advanced. This is the important stuff, advanced. It is not normal taxation, it is advanced, which means the questions will be at advanced level as well. Now, before we move into the before we move to our first topic and first lecture of income tax, let's first talk about this word taxation. Do you know what taxation is? What is taxation? Could anyone tell me? Of course you can't tell me, because it is not an interactive session. I'm writing UK again and again because this is only UK version of the lectures. It is not any other version. Anyway, what is taxation? Now, taxation is share of government in any individual's income. In an individual's income. Right, so whenever an individual is making money, they will have to pay some portion to the government. To whom? To the government. Okay, when I say individual, it does not mean the humans only. It does include humans plus companies, or you can say the businesses. Okay, so not only humans pay tax, the companies also pay tax, because companies are run by individuals anyway, the humans. Okay, so share of government in an individual's income is called taxation. Now, in every country you will have heard taxation, because there are taxation in almost every country. Even now in Gulf as well, there was no tax concept in the Arabian countries. Now they have started charging VAT as well. Now VAT is a certain type of tax. As you know, there are so many types of taxes. But coming back to the taxation, as I said, there is a taxation system in almost every country. Okay, so if either you're living in the UK, you are living in USA, Canada, or wherever you're living in, you will be paying tax. Okay, now in every government or in any country, there is one body set up by the government which will be responsible for the collection of the taxes from the people in the companies, and after collection then they will do certain stuff with that money. Okay, now in the UK that body is called HMRC. HMRC, Her Majesty's Revenue and Custom, if you want to know the full name of it, full form is Her Majesty's Revenue and Custom. Now, all the money in the UK in shape of taxes go to HM Revenue and Custom. Now, HM Revenue and Custom is an institution which is collecting the taxes on behalf of the government. Okay, so basically all the taxes go to the Queen. Now, the money is collected on behalf of the government. Now, why does tax needed at all? Now, I am doing this basic stuff just to revise the stuff which you have already studied at earlier level of ACCA or the degree level. So I'm just trying to reinforce the knowledge which you already know. So what is the purpose of tax anyway? So government collects the taxes and then they spend on the things like building the roads, building the streets, if there are any, building hospitals, and other welfare stuff like schools or other stuff. Okay, spending on the healthcare, which we've already spoken anyway, like hospitals or healthcare. Okay, now not only these things, in developed countries like UK, government also gives benefits. Okay, government also gives benefits. Now, benefit like childcare. So if you have a child, government pay you something so that you can look after the child if you cannot earn the money. Okay, after the child care, there is benefit like job seekers allowance, There are things like disability allowance for the people who are disabled, DISAB, disability, LITY, disability allowance. Okay, now these are the benefits given to the citizens of a certain country. So government collects the taxes and they spend on them, on the people, but they will collect the taxes from the rich people and then spend on the poor people. Okay, so the benefits like childcare, job seekers allowance, disability allowance, and there are lots of other stuff as well. So these benefits are given by the government to the people. But so what's basically the government is doing, collecting the taxes from the rich people and then spreading on whole the economy by doing this stuff, by building the roads, hospitals, and this stuff. And then they also give certain benefits. Now this money is coming out of the money which was collected in shape of tax. Okay, so government collects the tax, they build the roads, street, hospitals, and other stuff, and also they give the benefits as well. Right, so that's what the government does with the stuff which with the money which is received in shape of taxation. Now when we talk about the taxation, there are different types of taxes. Now when we were in the previous lecture, when I listed down the syllabus areas, them were all the types of taxes. But if we talk about the two broad categories of taxes, there are two broad categories of taxes. One is called direct taxes and others are called indirect taxes. Okay, now one is called direct taxes and others are called indirect taxes. Now indirect taxes, when you talk about the indirect tax, there is only one tax which is in our syllabus, which is called value-added tax. This is the only indirect tax. Now, what does indirect tax anyway means? Now indirect tax means that the government does not collect directly, but someone else will collect on behalf of the HMRC, then it will pass on to the other person, then to other, and finally it will eventually going into the pocket of HM Revenue and Customs. Okay, whereas if we look at the direct taxes, all the other syllabus areas, if we talk about the income tax, the corporation tax, the inheritance tax, and the capital gains tax. These are all the taxes which are called direct taxes, because in this case the government is collecting the money directly from the taxpayer. So the taxpayer himself is paying the money, or it is not going step by step, it is going in a shortcut way directly in the pocket of the government. Okay, so that's why it is called direct tax. Right then, so if we move to the other topic now, I'm just quickly revising the stuff which is more important at F6 level and less important at P6 level, but I think that you should have the idea about this. Right then, now, although that the tax should be paid, we know that tax should be paid, but no one wants to pay the tax. Okay, so if we want to avoid the tax, there are two ways. We can avoid the tax in a legal way, which is known as tax avoidance, or some people do hanky-panky with the taxes as well, that is known as tax evasion. Okay, now tax evasion is illegal way of avoiding the tax, whereas tax avoidance is a legal way to avoid the tax. Now the question arises that could you tell me some examples of which one is a legal way and which one is an illegal way, how to legally avoid the tax? Now there are certain exemptions, certain rules. We as chartered accountants are responsible for our to work for our client so that they can pay less taxes in a legal way. Okay, so tax advisors and tax specialists' job basically is to help their clients pay less taxes in a legal way by using legal means. Whereas on the other way, if we look at tax evasion, it is illegal way that hiding the income from HM Revenue and Custom. For example, if I am a millionaire, if I'm earning, I don't know, £50,000 a month, and I'm showing only £10,000 a month to HM Revenue and Custom in tax return, so that I will have to pay less tax. So it is tax evasion, hiding stuff from HM Revenue and Custom using illegal means to avoid the tax. Now, if you're doing the tax evasion, it is a serious offense, it's a criminal offense, which can sometimes lead to money laundering as well. Okay, so because someone who is hiding the money from the government so that he may not pay the tax, of course he's not doing, the chances are he might not be doing the legal business, and chances are he might well be doing money laundering as well, so you never know. Okay, so if you want to note down this stuff which I've written on the board, you can do so. During the course of our lecture, I might discuss some of these stuff, so that's why I wanted you to know this stuff, that what tax avoidance is, what tax evasion is, what is HM Revenue and Custom, and all this stuff. Okay, so it is normal tax language which you all must be aware of. Okay, now if you have already noted it down, that's well and good. Now I'm moving to the next page. Now if we move to the next page, let's come next, when I say next page of my notes.